All right, using Mr. Orth's Flip Classroom for Grammar, looking at how to most effectively use prepositional phrases. First, we need to understand that prepositional phrases' job in a sentence is to actually modify or describe something, which means there's going to be two types of prepositional phrases. An adjective phrase is a prepositional phrase that modifies or describes a noun or pronoun, whereas an adverb phrase is a prepositional phrase that modifies a verb, adjective, or adverb. We can simplify the whole lesson by having you go back to your notes for adjectives and adverbs. Simply put, a prepositional phrase is simply a phrase that's doing the job of an adjective, or is doing the job of an adverb. So, in that sense, we need to define the prepositional phrase, and then step back and say, is that phrase, where would we draw an arrow to? Is that arrow going to a noun or pronoun? Is that phrase describing a who or a what? Then it's an adjective phrase. If we would draw an arrow to a verb, to an adjective, or to another adverb, then, or get a question that phrase is describing a where, a when, a why, or a how, then it's an adverb phrase. In this particular example and practice exercises, the key is to figure out where's the best place to put that prepositional phrase. Well, we want to, generally speaking, put modifiers as close to the word modified as possible. The farther away they get, the more confusing they can become for your audience. So you want to place that prepositional phrase next to the word modified. If it's describing a simple subject, you should either put it in front of the simple subject followed by a comma, or directly after that simple subject before you get to the verb or any other part of the sentence. Okay. Again, if the word is first in a sentence to be modified, then you can try simply putting the whole phrase at the beginning followed by a comma. Your other option is if the first word is a simple subject, you can do it immediately following. Otherwise, anywhere in the sentence where you're trying to do that modified word, the prepositional phrase should come immediately after it. Sometimes it's confusing because you may have multiple prepositional phrases in a row, in which case the phrase that follows should be modifying only the object of the previous prepositional phrase. If you are asked, however, to identify which kind of prepositional phrase is in the sentence, then determine which word is being compared or described, and use your definitions of adjectives and adverbs to determine which one you're looking at. Again, at that point, if you're asked to identify it, simply cross out that whole phrase once you've identified preposition, the object, and any words in between, and simply draw the arrow like it was one word to begin with. All right, same example. One of my friends fell into the ball pit at McDonald's and was never seen again. Okay, so one of my friends is that phrase. So we're looking at that whole sentence. Of my friends is actually describing the pronoun one. Okay, so we're looking at this, and when in doubt, whatever word's right in front of it probably is going to be the best answer if the sentence is carefully constructed. So in this case, of my friends is describing one. Into the ball pit comes after the verb fell. It's not friends into the ball pit, or one into the ball pit, or McDonald's into the ball pit. It's fell. You can also say that it's describing where. And therefore, in both cases, it makes that an adverb. Finally, at McDonald's. It sounds like it's describing a where, but it's actually, a what. The ball pit at McDonald's is being described. That's why it's best to try to find that bullseye, that arrow. So at McDonald's is not describing where my friends fell. It's describing the ball pit is at McDonald's. And we'll consider that an adjective. If into the ball pit wasn't there, one of my friends fell at McDonald's, then it would be considered an adverb. But because it's describing the word pit right in front of it, and pit is a noun, that makes that whole phrase an adjective. This is a little bit confusing. Take your time. This is definitely a good place to stop and ask questions of your teacher, but more importantly, to make sure in your work and your writing, you're actually drawing the arrows and seeing if your thought process is matching up with how your teacher is teaching this. Good hunting.